So for the nav desk, we're gonna, I believe, go with maple. And so this is my lumber pile that I have cut and milled. So I think these 4 pieces are maple. I'll have to pull a couple out and we'll measure and see if any of it's usable for what I want. So I ran these 2 boards through the planer, so they're now about 1.25 inches thick. This is what they looked like before I started planing them, and they're 2 inches rough sawn. And to get these 2 from there to there, I end up with an entire wheelbarrow full of wood shavings that come off. So it's a tedious process, and there are a lot of wood shavings, but it's going to go on my parents' garden. So I'm terrible at remembering to start filming. So these are the 3 boards that are going to make up the nav desk top, and they're all about 10 and a quarter. So we have just about 31 inches, which is what we need, and there's a little bit extra length. So now that I have square lines, I lined it up how I wanted, and then put pencil marks, and I'm going to drill. So this is a doweling jig. I'm going to drill and put dowels in, and that'll help stabilize it, and then we'll glue the whole thing together, and that will help hold it all square to each other, so then there's less finishing work once it's all glued. Now I'm going to transfer the horizontal from the face to the edge. That way I can see it with the doweling jig.
One thing that you may have noticed is that Philip and I have been extremely blessed to have a family around us that supports our crazy, ridiculous ideas. Philip almost always has at least one project in the works at his parents' house. Since I've known him, he has built tables, chairs, bed frames, side tables, coffee tables. He's retrofitted lamps. He's made lamps out of basically nothing. He made a ring box for my engagement ring. He made a rolling kitchen island with wireless phone charging and a whole bunch of outlets. He's made several surfboards, and he's part of the way through some kayaks. Those have been partway through for a while now. He also made a computer setup for our VR and probably 100 of other things. But Philip's parents have always been extremely gracious with us and given us a place to stay as we transition on and off the boat each year. They have also been instrumental in helping us get both of our boats safely to Holland after we've purchased them. With Bombadil, they dropped us off in Waukegan Harbor, and then they also gave us, Randy, and Jack a place to stay the night before and the night after bringing the boat across. And then with our first boat, after the engine ran away, they were the ones who had met Darren before and were able to get in contact with him for our emergency tow, the last leg of the journey. They've also instilled an incredible work ethic in Philip and have always encouraged him to learn, and I will be forever grateful for that.
Alright, so tonight, well actually, most of today I've been working on building new drawers for the nav desk. And I haven't filmed anything, so sorry about that. But I've got all the pieces cut, and now it's time to assemble them. So I created I think it would be considered a rabbet in the side panels. And the bottom panel will then, so I cut this in, this groove. The bottom panel will sit in there, so the bottom panel is actually floating. It's not screwed or glued or anything. But then the sides are all glued. And I'm going to put a couple brad nails in just to hold the panels together while the glue is drying.
My family lives on the other side of town, so doing things like crashing at their place for a few nights is less feasible. However, my youngest sister has been awesome about storing most of our extra items in her spare room that we aren't quite ready to give up yet. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure that I'm ever getting my stand-up mixer back, but that's okay. Her husband Lucas also helped us bring Kalamazoo from Muskegon to Holland on that first trip, and he sold the diesel motor for us, plus a lot of other stuff. For that story, you're going to have to head back to our very first video. He's also currently housing our gas engine from Bombadil, and he'll be selling that for us as well, because he's super awesome. My family has always been close. My mom did pass away it's like several years ago now, and while that's something that I will always struggle with, it has changed the way that my family and I view opportunities in life. It's always on my mind now that we're not guaranteed tomorrow. My mom was only 49 when she passed away, and her and my dad were a few years away from being empty nesters. They were super excited about that, and they had a ton of plans. Somehow my family came through that hardship stronger and closer with each other. My dad is remarried now to the most wonderful woman, and I have 3 brothers in addition to my 4 sisters. Between the whole family, there's now 8 of us kids, and each of us have a significant other, and there's 9 grandkids for a total of 27. Last Thanksgiving was absolutely ridiculous. There was 24 of us all staying in an Airbnb for a long weekend, and we ate so much food, and it was absolutely fantastic. Also, this is Tom, and he has 3D printed so many things for us, including all of our new lights.
Screws. Yep, got 2 of those left. And a couple more this year too if you need them. Oh, we're recording already. Beautiful.
No dents in the wood, but the sides come off. Bottom, I'll pull the front and back face off at some point. There we go. And the drawer face. Disassembly. Great. Apparently these nails are not going to come out. But I am trying to take apart the old drawers that were in the nav desk so I can reuse the faceplate with the drawer pull, because that's a pretty nice drawer pull, and then also they'll all match the openings, and they look nice because they're solid mahogany. It does have a bit of a crack. I have to try to stabilize it with some epoxy at some point, but the other ones are in really nice shape. So goal is to reuse the pretty handmade drawer faces so that we can kind of keep the original aesthetics of the boat, but then have new drawers that are a little bit bigger with like ball bearing drawer slides and stuff. So trying to upgrade but keep the cool look of it. Got it. Now we have all new drawers. Slot like insides, but I use the same faces, so you still get that nice warm look of mahogany. Looks nice. Should work good for a long time to come. The height's pretty good. I don't mind that. And then it's a little bit of water damage because it's kind of like sleeping. It's not really damage. It just needs the oil back on it. Nice height. Looks pretty. I think it'll be maybe a little bit more functional. It's not quite so steep of an angle. Ooh, it is windy. The whole boat just shook. Yeah, so I gotta install, so I'm gonna use this and install some blocking right underneath here, and that'll help support this edge from weight as someone like leans on it, and then they'll probably put a couple other strips inside the cabinet that'll help lock the counter down. I think it looks nice, and it'll be a good addition to the boat. And then, especially with the nice big drawers that we've got. And then I think we're putting plans to cover all of this. And back here with like a backsplash kind of thing. I think it'll just be, I'm thinking walnut. And then this will be a diagonal for the chart plotter. This should be pretty easy to like touch in the VHF and use. And that'll be about here. I'm excited to have this project checked off enough on my list. That way I don't have these parts completed. I can set a piece of cardboard on it so it doesn't get damaged, the surface doesn't. Alright, work.